Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Nightmare on Fear Street. I am still a charade because there's no cure for that shit. And I am back today with Mother of Flies out of Fantastic Fest. That's right, y'all. I'm doing an Addams Family movie review. It's about fucking time, right? Where have I been? Where have I fucking been? Because I don't know me, there could be some spoilers. There's going to actually be a few spoilers for this one just because there's so much to talk about. It's very rich and very interesting, and I have thoughts and feels because that's what I do all the fucking time. I say the fuck word a lot also, apparently. That's what we're doing today. Let me get you the synopsis real quick. The synopsis for Mother of Flies reads: when a young woman faces a deadly diagnosis, she seeks dark magic from a witch in the woods. But every cure has its cost. From the beginning, the poetic language pulls you in. I know that's what the Addams Family does. It's what we always show up for. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just because of where I am in my life right now, or if like it's just seen it on a big screen. It's the first time I've seen their work on a big screen for all the reasons. I lived in the wrong states. But like it just really hit me in my feels. So I was like scribbling down lines and scribbling down like things that were in the narration. And I was like, I have to stop. I have to stop. I wish they just found a book of the poetry. Maybe just sell the script. I don't know. I do think if they had turned up with copies of the script and the soundtrack, they would have taken all of our money. And so it's really kind of them to not do that at a festival when we're already spending so much money. So yeah, like that is already seducing you into this world, which is, it's their textbook Wicked fairy tale with a like really cool, sick aesthetic. It's got your haunting, meticulous world, because I think that every movie they've ever done, no matter where the movie ranks for you or falls for you in their filmography, you know it's very intricate. You know that there was a lot of care given to every frame and every shot. However, this one specifically, I do not know if it's because I saw it on the big screen or what, but like you could just tell, like this tree with this moss pattern was picked for this reason. You know that these leaves are put here for this reason. You know the person working on the goo had a specific measurement in mind, so it's not too much and too little. Like it's all coming together to bring us. It brings them back to form, because again, I think that all of us who are Shutter babies, we know what we're getting from them, but it feels like they are back to the things that we love specifically, the things that we like really go up for. It feels like the band has tightened, for lack of a better term. You know, like the band has like now played their 25th song together. Everybody knows where they're going. Everybody knows what they're doing. And also this feels like it was a little, I don't know why it feels like it was personal, but it feels like it was very fucking personal. It feels like we really showed up to do the damn things, even more so than we usually do. Because again, I think that every movie, that aesthetic, you don't get that aesthetic by accident, but this is the one where you can almost see the work. You can almost see the conversation going, well, that light is going to come from here, so we need to make this there. Here's how we're going to mix the like fucking snot and vomit together to get this image. I have also just seen the things as far as like birthing goes that I cannot unsee. It's fucked up and it's gorgeous and it's haunting because again, that is their aesthetic. I also just really, really, really love that we are getting their punk rock but make it folk horror vibes, which I'm not a folk horror bitch, but I do love the Addams Family, and I think it's because they have fun and they make it accessible to those heathens like me who aren't already out here looking for the things and looking for the mystery and the riddles. Because don't get me wrong, we have a character who I fucking love, Solvik. I think I'm saying it right, but I'm also from Missouri, so like, sorry. But Solvik is definitely telling the truth, but speaking in riddles. And I think that's so interesting and so cool because, again, she never lies. And I don't think that the riddles are that complicated so much as people don't want to hear what she is saying. They're not ready to process what she is saying. She's a little mysterious woman. And I think that all of us aspiring older ladies respect that because society wants to put us in boxes and nobody has time for that. And so I love that she's just sort of out here naturally doing her thing and helping the girls or harming the girls because, again, I'm not going to give you that kind of spoiler, but I do think that she's interesting, and I could almost hear 19 essays being written about her as the credits started rolling. I might be finding those essays someday soon, hopefully. But yes, I never actually gave you some of the characters. So we're kind of following Jake and Mickey. Jake is a father whose daughter's cancer has returned. Mickey is the daughter. And I love their relationship. I love that, like, we know exactly how close they are. We know exactly how scared they both are and how they're, like, masky for the other one. Because a lot of the times when bad things are happening, people are like, let me put on a brave face for you. And that is sometimes not the thing to do. I will say that there's a particular moment that I really loved, specifically for Zelda Adams, where her and her dad, who's playing her dad, because that's what we do here, are having this moment, and she's just like, no, you're not going through it. And I really love that moment, because a lot of times when we're going through bad shit and people think that they're helping us, they are actually putting more work on us, because we have to pretend that we're okay for them. We have to pretend that we're not upset for them. And so I love that they've got to have this like gross moment, and he leaves her in the woods with this witch that he has issues and questions about. Because again, you need to have a little bit of texture. It can't all be like, I'm gonna hold your hand for all of this shenanigans. You have to be like, this witch is busted. I don't want to be here. I think you know that this is wrong. Let's get the fuck out. I'm a cynic. And you have another person who's like, I've decided this is what I'm going to do, because again, this is my life, this is my body, this is my cancer. And so like, that's one of my favorite moments for both of them, actually. Not to say that there's not a whole bunch of scenes I fucking love, because again, their sense of humor comes through even when we are doing some really fucked up, depressing work. And I think that's one of the reasons why we love them so much, because again, that is life. You know, life is always gonna life, but like, we're gonna have a laugh every once in a while. We're gonna say something sarcastic every once in a while, and it's very, very fun to see it on screen in this world where it is typically not invited. I've had many conversations about folk horror this week and why they hit for me in a way that a lot of people who do the folk horror do not hit for me. But anyways, to get back into Solvik, this is her world, and we're all just kind of living in it. If you've had the pleasure of being in the same space with Toby Poser, you know that she's just like an enchanting person. Like, all eyes go to her, you're just drawn to her. She is Mother. And so seeing her out in the woods, being not herself, but like a definitely dark version of herself almost, this is a very, very cool role for her. I think it is probably in my top 3 performances I've seen from her, if not the top. I know recency bias is a real thing, so I'm trying to not say that this is my favorite movie from them, and this is not my favorite role for her. But when I go back through the tapes, it might be. So again, we're going to give it a rate at the end, but just know that that's probably going to move forward when I go back and be like, but yes, but yes, but yes. Or no, because maybe one of them will shake me. I don't know. Again, she says what she means, and I relate to that as a Gemini. She is not taking anybody's shit. Like, you know, she's sympathetic. She's here to do her job. She's going to do what she said she was going to do, which is help this girl. Are her methods the methods that a lot of people were frowned upon? Yeah. Are we a little bit afraid of her? Yeah. But we should be afraid of all women, because you know what? Don't cross us. And I also think that because horror is inherently political, there's a lot to be said for this character, which is why I cannot wait to read the essays that are being written about her. Again, like this woman, and I don't want to give away big spoilers, but I am going to just say, I think that one of the threads that gets me the most excited is that this woman who created life is being punished for creating life. She's been called a witch. People are trying to kill her. I'm not going to get into all the specifics because, again, I don't want spoilers, so I'm trying to keep things vague. But we do get flashbacks where we get to like clarify some things and see exactly what played out. And I think that there's also just like this common thought that like women who own their magic, whatever that magic is, or whatever their gifts are just inherently feared. Because again, they are not beholden to society and society's expectations, or living outside the boxes that they want to put us in. And so I think she's kind of badass. I think she definitely fits the punk rock aesthetic and mold that we come to the Addams Family for. She also made me think of Melanie Lynskey in The Last of Us, season 1. Hold, please, I know you're about to yell at me. But she made me think of her because people were coming for Melanie Lynskey because there's this lie that the patriarchy has given us all, that in order to be powerful, you must be yelling and you must be a loud bitch and bastard. And that's actually not it. The scariest people are the quietest people, which again is why you should not keep crossing women. I know that before I choose violence, I get very silent. Whatever that violence is, whether it's keyboard or whether it's like verbal hands, I don't know. But like, I know that when I get quiet is when we should all be worried and we should all maybe apologize and take several steps back. And so every time she made them lean in for her, every time that she never raised her voice, I was like, these are power moves. These are power moves. Patriarchy can never. And I also just think that, again, when you are yelling, you have lost control of the situation. That's why when you see parents yelling at their kids, you're like, no. When you see teachers yelling at their students, you're like, no. If you're in control, you don't have to fucking yell, as I yell over the washing machine and things. I'm not in control of the washing machine and things, as you know. Anywho's, I love this character. I love what Toby did with the character, and I think that if if you are for whatever reason not a fan of the Addams Family, I think that if you watch this movie, you too will be obsessed with Solvik. If I'm saying that name correctly, again from Missouri. So I'm trying, but did not practice enough because we're in a festival, y'all. I don't know if you've noticed. We're in a festival. Anywho's, I'm gonna try to get the fuck out of here because this is getting really long. But I'm gonna give this 4 Witches Brews because I love drinking in a theme. I also really love this movie. I think that it's going to be in my top 3 Addams Family movies when I am done rewatching and rearranging. I just love it so much, and I know that like we bring our own baggage to things, and maybe some of this is hitting me and my current baggage, and that's why I'm just like I can't stop talking about it, and I want to just like live in it again. I just rewatched it because I have the screener, and I was like, you know what I'm gonna do this afternoon? That. Anywho's. If you've not seen this movie because it's in the festival circuit, you can catch it at Brooklyn Horror Fest next month. And I'll probably be there if I'm there on that day as well. Because I want to see it again on the big screen. I'm needy. And that's what I know about that. And thank you to Fantastic Fest for accepting my application. Because without that, I would not be here giving chaotic reviews for anything. I would be at home being sad, watching my friends on my phone. Watch the Addams Family movies again on the big screen without me. And I would be bitter. If you have seen this movie and you like it, let me know. If you've seen it and you didn't like it, respectfully let me know. Or keep it to yourself. Wherever you feel. I don't care. I do care because I'm nosy. But anyways, stay fierce out there and bye.